Also, I just want to say another thing real quick. I don't have a short-term mindset, you know. Because when I set my mind on something, now I know I don't say this to anyone or anything, but like, well, until now, but like, I'm not really, but I'm not a I'm not, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that I'm not in a short-term mindset. Like, I'm not stuck in that. Like, I do actually think long-term, you know? And sometimes I really do think a lot about it, you know? Like, I really do think a lot about, you know, something. And, like, I'm not just, like, I don't do stuff just to enjoy the now. I don't do it just, you know, like, telling the truth, for example. Or, you know, like, I pray and do devotions every morning. That's how I start my morning, you know? Like, what? Like, it's not, or, like, I don't do stuff just for temporarily. It's not just to satisfy, like, I'm not a self-gratification geek, okay? I don't do stuff to temporarily satisfy me or stuff like that. I mean, like, no. When I do what's right and live for what's right, you know, it's for long term. And when I'm thinking of, like, in real life stuff, like, I pray and plan and think about where I want to go and what I want to do, and, like, later in life and beyond college and things, you know, that's thinking long term, and that's not overthinking in that, you know. And, like, now if you're trying to plan everything, like, specifically in detail over every event of your life, then you're overthinking, and then that really hurts your brain, and it's like, gives you a headache. And to me, that seems like a lot of work. I mean, like, sure, you do want to plan for the future and things, you know, yes, but, like, you don't want to be like a computer nerd and that, you know. So, and also, you shouldn't really worry too much about the future. I mean, you do want to plan ahead of time sometimes, yes, but, like, you want to be able to live in the present, you know. And if that certain event that you plan in the future, and that, you know, you want to just wait until we get to that bridge, you know. We're not at that bridge yet, so let's just focus on the now and in the present, and then eventually we'll get to that point, and then we'll deal with it later on. The Bible says that, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will have its own troubles, you know. So we should worry about our priorities. We should reevaluate our priorities today, what we have to do today, what are our goals for today, what's our objective for today, you know, what do we want to accomplish for today, you know. So, and just, like, and pray and live and every day like that, just, you know, I mean, sometimes plan ahead a little bit, yes, you know, but then, like, just live in the present, you know, be in today, be in the here and now, because you can plan for a future all you want, but you'll never get there. You'll never get to the future if you don't live in the present today. So live in the present. I mean, plan ahead, but also be in the present today. So,
doing the right thing, you shouldn't be thinking, I need to do something good so I can get something good. That's not. Being a Christian should be transactional, but he does reward you when you do what's right. And later, like, if you do something and it's hard, but you made the right choice, later you'll see that it was worth your while, and you'll be glad you did it. So, you know, I know there's been different times when I've, like, prayed and stuff, and, like, things happened, like, answered, you know, it's like,
God answered.
100% God, like, you're like, oh, like, it keeps you going, keeps you encouraged to do what's right all the time.
So you've seen it.
So, yeah. true. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Doing the right thing, it's not like you don't do what's right just to get a trophy and that. Like, for example, I tell the truth in that and live for what's right and do what's right, not just to get something in return, you know? It's not like I'm not being paid to do this. Not being paid to do this, not getting a prize after this or whatever, you know? Just, you know, so, and it's not transactional as how she puts it. So she tries to, what's funny with my older sibling is that she uses words like that to try to sound so intellectual and have a high IQ and that. The transactional, or it's not like it's super proportional. I mean, like, bro, you don't need to be so philosophical, okay? You know, I mean, like, it's just like, I feel like people try to say more words and try to say such high, profound vocabulary to sound like they're all smart. And anyone can do that. Anyone can do that. And just because you may sound smart on a lot of things, but sometimes because you may speak a lot and say such profoundly, highly esteemed words, you know, I mean, I could be like that too. I could be like that too. I mean, you can sound smart, but that doesn't mean you're smart. I mean, you can say a lot of things and say some fancy words here and there, you know, but that doesn't mean you're smart, because someone could sound smart, you know, but not actually have any clue on whatever they're talking about, you know. I mean, like, seriously, the duration of one speaking, and keep this in mind, you may speak, talking a lot doesn't mean you know a lot, you know. I mean, just keep that in mind. Now, does that self-contradict my stance? Of course not. I mean, if you actually do know what you're talking about and understand the context of what you're talking about, you know, and you speak on that, and you studied from the world around you, and you observe from it and tell it like it is, like how I'm doing right now, you know, then that's when it's okay. But in this situation from my older sister, I sadly can't say the same, because she, you know, is half-hearted. You know, she may sound so profound and highly intellectual, you know, but a lot of times she's quite stupid. You know, I'm sorry, but it's just the sound truth, you know. I'm honest, you know, I have common sense, and, you know, just get to the point, you know, and that's what I do.
When you be yourself, like, I feel like God's been helping me more, you know, being able to kind of show my personality and everything. Like, other people see that, and people have respect for people who are honest. Even people who aren't really serving God, like, just knowing they're not, you know, they know, like, if they're in sin unto your heart or cold, how that scripture is, but just knowing people respect that, so you're
yeah, and seeing that you have been dishonest on a lot of things, and even some things in this video, you don't really deserve much respect. So, and you lied how we're into each other's business, but despite the fact we're actually not. So that's confirmation bias, you know, so that's fallacy. So you already contradicted yourself earlier, so that's not really honesty of you. So that your credibility is fading. As a matter of fact, your argument is really not that credible anyway. So just saying.
don't have to call attention to yourself and act like you're a 100% perfect person or...
Okay, here we go. Isn't that what you're trying to do, though? If you literally said if you're Christian, you don't have to bring attachment to yourself. Attachment to yourself. Okay. So you're implicitly saying that you want attention, you know. So just because I'm Christian doesn't mean I want attention or attachment to myself. And I don't act like I'm 100% right. I mean, like, keep in mind, you sisters tried propagating that label onto me. And you know I'm never like that, you know. I'm not omnipotent or 100% right, you know. Yet you try to act like I'm that way when I'm not. And then older sister, you lied that I was a furry and stuff and have mental symptoms and etc. and go off on these stuff and act like everything you say is 100% perfect, you know. And then you want to escalate the situation by bringing family into it, parents and even almost grandparents. So, and that was in June, and that was like months after this video came out. So, in other words, older sibling, you already have contradicted yourself once again. I mean, you just lie and lie and lie and lie, you know? And then you say what's right, but you don't live it. And yet you slap the label on me and accuse me of doing that. I mean, the irony, the absolute hypocrisy is just insane. This is truly like unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I mean, the more I thoroughly look at this and think back on it, the more I realize how non-accurate you actually are. You're not very accurate. You know, your actions, you say that, but yet you did not live it. So your actions suggested otherwise. So you're a hypocrite.
You know, people notice when you're doing this real, so just do it, be quiet, just be a Christian.
Be quiet, be Christian, be quiet. So because I'm a Christian and I see evil, I'm not allowed to say anything. And, oh my goodness, it's raining right now. But like, so you're not allowed to say anything. So that's what you're implying. That's what you're implying. Be quiet, be Christian. You know, I mean, like, you sound so cheese. That is literally cheesy. So, yes, you don't, while it is true that you don't want to make a show of yourself and that doesn't mean you have to be quiet. And if people are mocking you and lying about you and stuff, and posting garbage about you everywhere and lying about you over the internet and stuff, you have to say, hey, this is wrong, I'm not this, you know. And people will acknowledge that, and people will look back on it and say, wow, this is really stupid. He wasn't any of these things at all. People will look back and see how stupid that really is. Whether you realize it or not, so, and you can be a Christian, but you don't have to be so silent. I encourage you, if something is wrong and you've been lied about and people are treating you like garbage, you fight back. So fight back and be loud and make your voice heard. And as I'm saying all this, I'm not seeking attention. I'm not attaching myself or whatever. I don't want attention. It was never about attention. And if you're lying against me, older sibling, and said stuff about me that was not true, I will rightfully say it like a real Christian. Sure, there are times to be quiet and, the hold back, but there are times to, expose the truth as well. So, and even if you're a Christian, that doesn't mean you have to be quiet and not say anything and let people treat you like junk. If people are treating you like garbage and mocking your faith and blaspheming you and being jerks and stuff, and see, then we get into this doctrine of be quiet and everything will be well. It won't. If you're quiet and people are still attacking you and stuff, that's not going to solve anything. So be loud as a Christian also, stupid sister.